All right, good morning or afternoon now since we rolled over to 12 o'clock. Welcome to our session today. My name is Jeanette McDonald. I'm the Public Trust Coordinator with the Nova Scotia Federation of Agriculture. I'm going to be leading you through this second session on using social media to share your story. We're going to be focusing today on tools for graphic design, hashtags, keywords, and the Your Farmers, Your Nova Scotia campaign. So this is meant to be an interactive session, so feel free to ask questions. You can let me know by raising your hand or putting something in the chat, but you also have the ability to unmute yourself so you can talk and ask questions. Catherine Tuttle from the office is also on today, and she will be supporting the chat if there's anything that comes up that I miss. So we should be able to get to everything. We get through the content before that, that's great. And off we go. I'm just going to share my screen. There's a few things that I'll stop sharing on and pause for questions, and then also take you through some other options. So can everyone see the PowerPoint presentation? Are we good?
Yep.
All right, thank you. So the first session, we really spent a bit more time on this part, on building trust. So really, building trust is connecting on shared values. And we know that connecting on shared values is 3 to 5 times more powerful than facts when it comes to earning trust. And public trust is not just about education and facts. We talked about values in the first session. So if you didn't take part in the first session, it's on the PT resources section of the NSFA website. And I will include that link in the handouts that are going to go out from our session today. So if you want to go back and take a look at that, you can. But I encourage you to reflect on values, as it's a key piece of building trust and sharing your story. And that can be online or in person. So in our first session, we talked about building trust and storytelling and using social media to help do that. We got into creating content, calendars, and how to schedule content. And today we're going to take a look at some of the tools to help you design and create visual content. And we will explore hashtags and keywords. And I will go over the Your Farmers, Your Nova Scotia campaign, review the campaign. We'll show some examples of the tools we talk about today, but it's also something that we would like you all to become a part of already. So when we looked last time, it was really at using the Meta Business Suite, which is Facebook and Instagram, and we took a look at Hootsuite as well. So graphic design, adding visuals to your social media content helps to get more engagement and reach, but it also helps your audience to remember information when it includes an image. So we're 65% more likely to remember information 3 days later if it includes an image. So graphic design is the craft of planning and creating visual content to communicate ideas and messages. So you can use it to promote and sell products, to convey a message, and to develop brand identity. So what do we want visuals to do? Social media graphics are the visual component of any social media post, and it's usually in the form of an image or a picture, of GIFs, and in video. Imagine social media without visuals. So Instagram in particular would be pretty boring. Visuals should create engagement and in conversation. Something that will get your audience to make a comment or give a like or some sort of reaction. You want visuals to get your audience's attention, to make them stop scrolling. And you also want your visuals to provide value for you and for your audience. So value can be in the form of education, something to bring a smile to their face, something to get them thinking about an issue or a topic, or a way for you to show your products or make sales, which isn't our focus today, but I don't want to overlook that it does provide some impact on that. And visuals don't have to just be photographs. I've pulled a few examples of graphics from farms and food businesses. So the picture of the flowers is from Just Bloom Flower Farm on their social media account. So you can see the farm sign in the background with the flowers that are used as an example of bouquets that they had for sale. The Better Together image comes from Dalhousie Agricultural Campus. They've been hosting trivia nights on their Facebook pages, and they've branded this as Better Together Trivia Night and with their logo on the bottom. So this is a form of a visual that you can use as a branded sample or branded design. The canteen restaurant is shown with the soup and the sandwich. So that's something that kind of resonates with folks, having a comforting meal and just showing that, as an example of what you have in your business. The bottom picture of the cabin comes from Sugar Moon Farm, and this was actually taken from a visitor at the farm, and they shared it to their social media, and then Sugar Moon Farm reshared the image. So that's another great way of collecting visuals, is when you have people on your farm taking pictures to share what they're putting on their own social media. And the last one is a recent sample of a visual that we did on Meet Your Farmer with the Wordle, play on Wordle thing that's going around, and everyone seems to be doing Wordles in the morning. So we created our own just with words that are kind of around food and farming. So plant, grown, local, field, and farms, and then had a caption to kind of describe what that meant. So that's another important piece, is that when you are creating visuals, when you're posting them, you also want to have some captions to go along with them. So another form of visuals, you can see the kind of the movement in this Simpsons GIF. So it says, "Let the agriculture begin." So that would be uploaded in the form of a video if you're going to save something and then upload it. But you can also just search those on Facebook. So when you go to make a post, you can, instead of clicking that you want to add a photo, you're going to add something else. And if people would like, I can show you how to do that. The next image is like an infographic. And in 2022, which platforms do you plan to increase your investment? So an infographic or a graph or something like that is a visual that you can show information really quickly. So you can see here on Twitter, like the top result here was Twitter. And it's really simple to kind of understand the information that's being presented to you. And that's something that can be created in some of the tools that we're going to look at. Adding graphics through pictures, infographics, posters, or videos is a great way to engage your audience and get their attention, but you want to attract their attention for the right reasons. So some tips for social media: make sure that you've sized your image for the app. So if you're in Instagram, your post should be 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels. That gives you the best format when you're looking at the grid image of your profile. And you want it to be in a way that's visually appealing. And that is kind of something that's a personal preference, but there are some kind of basic tools that you can use when you're creating images if you're doing some graphic design work and not just using photographs. And make sure that you're sizing correctly. So going back to that on Facebook and Instagram, so they're different sizes typically. So the recommended size on Instagram, like I said, is 1080 by 1080 pixels. Facebook can take a 1080 by 1080 pixel size and show that quite well, but Instagram doesn't take a Facebook image and show it really well. So if you're going to have one that you want to use, I recommend that you format Instagram and then share that on Facebook. Twitter and other social media platforms are slightly different, and I can kind of show you that when we get into Canva later on. Your image should be clear and the subject should be clear. So you don't want a photo or an image that doesn't show what you what you're trying to get across. So going back to like the flowers from the Just Bloom flower farm, it was very clear that it was a bouquet of flowers. That was the content of that image. Choose complementary colors. Colors should complement each other. And if you're really not sure about what colors go together, a simple thing to do is just to keep a color wheel closed. So have one like saved on your computer or print one off and have it in your workspace. Colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel are considered complementary. So it's an easy kind of reference point to see. And you want to keep your designs and your graphics simple. So usually less is more. If your image starts to look cluttered, is there a way that you can break it down and make more than one image and maybe carousel them? And carousel is when you have more than one image posted in an Instagram post or a Facebook post, and you have to then scroll across on Instagram to be able to see everything that you've uploaded. And on Instagram, you can have, I think, up to 10 pictures in one Instagram post. And then as you scroll through them, that's called carouseling. And another point to make is to understand copyright. So if you're using images from the internet, if you've Googled something that you want to use, make sure that it is something that is available for you to use and that it's not a copyrighted image. I think one of the best things to do to kind of avoid that is to get some images done of your own farm or business, so that if you to kind of use as your own stock photos. So there's lots of photographers available that you can hire to come out and take pictures. Maybe there's students in some design programs at the community college or a 4-H member that's in photography project that would like to have the opportunity to practice their craft. And you could invite them to come out and take some pictures for you. Not everyone has the skills to take professional looking photos. My smartphone does a great job of making me seem like a better photographer than I really am, as many of them do. The lighting and that is quite good on a lot of smartphones, but if you really don't feel confident in it, then I would suggest that you get some help in that. And there's lots of people that are available to do that. There's quite a number of tools available to help you for graphic design. So Microsoft Publisher is kind of an older one that was popular 10, 15 years ago. If you were doing posters or design work, it came with the Microsoft Office suite, and you could do quite a bit of graphic design there. It's still available if you have it. It is an option. It gives you the ability to save something as a PDF or as a picture file, which could be JPEG or a .png file. But it's not something I used to use a lot when I was in university. It's not something that I use much anymore. Really what I'm going to spend a lot of more time on today is a tool called Canva, and it's what we use in the office a lot. Pretty much all of my designs are coming through Canva. But there's also the Adobe suite. So there's lots of Adobe products. Spark, Creative Cloud, Illustrator, Photoshop, and InDesign. Most of these products require a bit more skill. So if you're interested in those and you don't have experience in them, it's probably best to kind of find a class or someone that can help you lead you through those programs, because they are a bit harder to use if you're a complete beginner. In my search of kind of looking at other tools for design, Genially and Gravit Designer are two other ones that came up as popular and have a free version. There's also paid versions, the same with Canva. There's free and paid versions of most of these apps. And it has built-in templates and design. So you can sign up for a free account. It looks quite similar to what I'm going to show you today in Canva. So I'm going to spend time on Canvas. I'm not really going to take time on this one, but for any of these, you can feel free to check them out on your own and kind of just play around in them and see if that's something that you would like to use, if it's of help. The Gravit Designer is a vector design app, so you can design logos and social media images and website images, and it's priced at about $100 per year. If you think that you're going to be doing some kind of logo design or graphic design work like that, it might be one that you want to take a look at. So Canva is a tool that I started using a few years ago, and I joke that most of my life exists in Canva. So I'm going to take you into our Canva that we use at the Federation office, and there's a few of us that use this account. So there's a lot of designs in here, and I use this almost every day. And I really think that anyone can make great graphic design options in Canva, because there's a lot of things that are already kind of pre-formatted and already done for you. So it's a really simple tool to use if you feel like you don't have a lot of design ability or skill. It's one that anyone can kind of jump into and I think get good results. One thing I do see on Canva is that if you're using the free version, some of the options are locked until you have a paid for account, and they will have a watermark on them. So try not to use ones that have the watermark on them if you don't have the paid for account. It has like quite an X through it and the Canva logo on it. So it's best to stay into the free options that are available to you, or look at paying for the paid for version. I see some things popping up in the chat, so I'm just going to stop sharing my screen if I can find that button, and we'll go through what's in the chat for a second before I jump into Canva and spend some time in there with you. Catherine had posted the link to the Public Trust Resources webpage, so that's in the chat if anyone's looking for it. There's going to be another resource that I'll refer to later, and that's where you're going to be able to find it. And someone had just made the comment that they had some photos done of their farm and wondering if is it recommended each time I use those photos I give credit to the person who took them. That's something that I would clarify with them. If you paid for the photos, I don't think that you need to. If you've paid for them, they're your photos to use as you see fit. So if you want to add text over them or anything like that, feel free to use them. But if you need to clarify that with your photographer, just in terms of the release on those photos, I would do that. We often get people to sign release forms, so even if they're in our images, we will get them to kind of sign off to say it's okay that we're using them for this purpose and then other purposes. So in the 9-frame post that we did, it was a social media kind of campaign that we had 9 different women in one picture, and they all held up words. We got them to also just sign a release saying that it was okay for us to use those pictures, and if we had another purpose for them, that we could use them as well. So I'm going to jump into Canva. Has anyone used Canva before? Just out of curiosity before I hop in? Nope. All right. So I do think that this is a kind of a valuable tool for people to take a look at. So where is my Canva? All right. So this is what home looks like on Canva. So if you have the free version or the paid version, it will look slightly different. The paid for version has more options. So like on the left-hand side, you'll see that this is the user here, so the Nova Scotia Federation of Agriculture. And down the side, we have the home button. So this gets you back to this screen every time you push it. So if you get lost in your designs, just you can click here to come back to where you've already created content. If you click on this button, this is where you're going to see all of your designs. And then if you have people that you're working with, there's a shared with you. So if there's other folks that are using Canva, so if you're working with someone and they want to share an image with you, that's where you can find those. You can create folders here. So if you want to split up all of your designs, so you can see that we have a Meet Your Farmer one, we have farm safety, we have different programs, and they're kind of organized by that. When you're done something, you can delete it and put it in the trash. And then there's other options down the side. But I'm going to just start out with creating a design. So as I mentioned before, if you're going to create one design and share it on multiple platforms, sometimes the easiest thing to do is just to design for Instagram and then upload it to Instagram and Facebook. But as I click the create a design button, this gives me the option to search. So there are many pre-formatted options based on size and based on social media applications. So you can see there's Twitter posts, Instagram posts, Facebook posts, an Instagram story, flyers, a Pinterest pin, Facebook cover photos, if you want to create a logo. Then there's also headers and thumbnails. So on YouTube, you have your own specific thumbnail. So if you're looking to put your logo in or put a photo in, you can click on that and it will be automatically sized for the YouTube thumbnail. I find this really helpful because as you're uploading photos, it's sometimes hard to determine what the proper size is when you're in one of the apps. So YouTube can be a little tricky to kind of find out what size is the optimal size when you're uploading photos. So I find Canva really useful for this, just to kind of see what size is the best for different social media applications. So let's create an Instagram post. So back on the left-hand side again, we can use templates. So at the top, you see templates. So this is really kind of giving you the cheat version of creating something. So today's Valentine's Day, so we can search for Valentine's, and it gives you a whole bunch of different social media ideas or posts that are already kind of done if you want to just create a Valentine's Day post and put your logo on it or change the messaging or the font, and it's ready to go. So will you be my Valentine? You can just then download this and post that on Instagram and it's ready to go. So by clicking the download button, you can choose how you want to download it. So PNG is a higher quality image file compared to a JPEG, but depending on your storage capabilities, you may want to use a JPEG. You can also make this into a PDF, a standard or print quality. And then if you wanted to make it into a video, you could do that as well, or make your own GIFs. So there's lots of options on how you're going to share your images as well. Another option, which is something that we don't use a lot here, and we were actually talking about it this morning, instead of downloading the image, saving it somewhere, and then uploading it to your social media account, you can just share it automatically to your social media pages. So you can link your Facebook page and share directly to Facebook. We don't use it in that way until we are clear on if you can share multiple Facebook pages. So Meet Your Farmer and the Federation can be separated. But if you click the 3 red dots on the right-hand side, so you can click how you want to share the image and download it. If you want to put it to your personal Instagram or your business Instagram. This is one of the versions on the Pro or the paid for version. You can schedule your content. So you can pop that into the content calendar on Canva and have it go at a certain time. So if you don't want to post this until 7 o'clock tonight, you can select that. But you can also download it and then share it in your Facebook business page if you want to delay the post as well. So there's lots of different options on how you can share. So if you see a template that you like, but you want to make changes to it, so we can play around with this, will you be my Valentine? So this is a photo. So if I want to change the size of it, I can do that. So it was kind of stretched out. So now the hearts are kind of not centered. They're going to be off to the side. If I want to add something else to it, I want to put in more hearts. So I can search hearts and then add another red heart on top of it, or I can add a whole chain of hearts across the bottom. And they're black. So maybe I don't want black hearts on this post. So I'm going to come up here where it has edit image or crop or flip. And you can see that black box, that's the color box. So if I want it to be red, I can switch to that. You're gonna see here that we have some brand kits. So these are colors that we have set up in Canva that are based on the Federation's branding. And we also had one on a program that we did. So we had set colors to that as well. So you can, we'll get into the branding in a few minutes, but that's just an easy way. If you're always looking for the same few colors, it's great to set up the brand kit. So they're always there and available for you. So Meet Your Farmer, this is the brown color that we use for a lot of our work. So I can change them to brown hearts. But if you also come down here to photo colors, I really like this red kind of color that's coming through the hearts. It will pick up the closest colors in the photo. So it sees a light gray, a dark gray, this kind of reddish pink, corally pink, and the black. So you can change the colors based on what's showing through in the photos that you've already put in. If you don't like something that you've included, you can delete it. So you can hit your delete button on your keyboard. And there's also an undo function. So if I make it, if I do something and I don't want to make that, you can just undo it and put it back. So we've made an Instagram image, but let's say I want to make this into a Twitter post as well. On the pro version or the paid for version, there's a resize option. This isn't available on the free version, but you can click resize. And now I want to do a Twitter post. So I click on the Twitter post. I can copy this whole graphic and it will open into a new tab, or I can just resize it here. I want to keep my original, so I'm going to say copy and resize. So it's opened a new tab. And now you can see that a Twitter post is longer and narrower. So the font looks a little funny. So I'm going to be able to just change that and move my hearts down, or maybe I won't include them here. So you can keep your images really close to the same, but it also gives you the ability to see that something that looks formatted and shaped well in Instagram won't look the same on Twitter. So you may have to change your text around or kind of reformat it to see the different sizes. So then when you're done with this, you can see publish to Twitter, or I can download. So if I wanted to put this on, if I wanted to tweet this out right away, I could click publish to Twitter and then connect my Twitter account and do that. Or I can download the image again as a PNG or a JPEG file. So if you don't like any of the templates that you saw, you don't have to use them. So I'm going to just go home and we're going to create a new design. So I want to make another Instagram post. And I want to do something that's completely unique and not already done as in the form of a template. So I can just start clicking on elements and photos. So there's a lot of photos kind of built into Canva, especially in the paid for version. So if you're looking for Valentine's, you can see that here are some Valentine images. So here's two people in a street. So we can resize that by stretching and moving the photo and putting that in our background. And now that looks like it was already a template that was there. And then if we want to add text on top, you can click text and you'll see the brand kit again. So our brand font in the Federation is a Source Sans Pro. So that most of our designs, we use that font. But if you're looking for a different font, there are a lot of fonts available in Canva. It's really fun. to play around with all of the fonts that are available. And they also have some font combinations. So if you're looking for something that's, you can kind of see how this glows a bit. So it says, hello, darling. You can change the text. So if you don't want that, you can say, hello, folks. And you can change the blue one as well. They're often grouped together. So if you click the ungroup button, then you can move them apart. So this is a little kind of close together. I can now pull the folks down and give it more space. I could put it at the bottom, or I can put it back where it was. And you can change the color. So you can see here on the A, text color. Let's use the Meet Your Farmer colors. And there it is. If you have a logo for your business, you can add it into Canva as well. So there's a button down here called logos, and you're going to see a lot of them because we have all of our logos for Meet Your Farmer. So this is one that I use a lot in social media, is these two pairs of Meet Your Farmer logos. So when I click on it, it can be sized in kind of a few different ways. So it can come up in the corner and kind of hang out here, or it can come to the bottom. Whoops. So if you make a mistake, click undo and click and drag it down here. And then you can resize and put it wherever you like. I don't know if you can see the pink line that kind of comes on the screen right now. So that's your center line. And there's lots of tools here as well to help you kind of make sure that your placement is where it needs to be. So there's the center line. You can divide it into different sections. So if you're trying to get some different parts of content on here, this is looking a little cluttered, so I'm going to take this stuff out and show you what I mean. So if I'm going to create like an infographic, I can put in some boxes, and just to make sure that I'm getting them kind of spaced out the same, I can use the grid lines that are already built in and have them spaced out evenly. So there's a few options to kind of help you in your design to make sure that, you know, if you want something dead center, this is your center line. So if we go back to, so here's logos. These are all something that you need to upload along with your brand content. So those colors, that's something that you need to set up if you have those all kind of done. All of your designs are also available here. So if you have something that you wanted to reuse and you don't want to go back to the homepage to try to find it, you want to just quickly start from the beginning, you can click this button and your past designs are there. So I'm going to click into this one. This is a Your Farmers, Your Nova Scotia recipe that we haven't posted yet. And we use this kind of repetitively. So once we've created one recipe template, all we have to do is upload the image. So if I want to click upload media, and then I can, wherever I have it saved, I just pull it in and put it in. And you can do that with videos and audio files as well. For Open Farm Day this year, we had a lot of videos done. And if you have, if you wanted support in getting your video created and all you, if you send me some photos and then a voiceover clip, we could create a video for you. So you can use, I don't use Canva for a lot of video production, but it's something that you can do if you have a message that you want to say and then add maybe some stock photos to it to create a video. That is an option in Canva as well. So I'm going to close that before I lose that design. I'm just going to go back home. Are there any questions on Canva? I'm just going to stop share and let people digest that for a second and see if there's anything they want me to kind of show. There is also an app for your phone. So if you're not someone that comes and does a lot on your desktop or on your laptop, you can do it through your phone as well. So if you get a photo taken and you're really not pleased with how, maybe it's not centered properly, or you don't think it's sized right for Instagram, you could pop it into your Canva app, do the editing that way, and then upload it to your social media accounts. You don't have to try to get it onto a computer and then do it. So there are options to make it a little easier. If you're short on time and you just want to do something quickly while you're out and maybe even in the field or in the barn, and do a post while it's fresh in your mind. All right, I don't see any questions on Canva. Just pop back into our, I think I'm on the right file. Everybody can see the PowerPoint presentation again. I always lose you guys when I when I do a screen share. In order to see everything I need, I have to minimize you all. All right, I'm going to move into hashtags. So a hashtag is something that you can use on your social media platforms that's going to help you increase your reach and engagement. But learning to use hashtags, there are a few tips and tricks to keep in mind, especially when you're using them on different platforms. So we've created a resource on hashtags. It's going to be available on the public trust resource page with the Federation, but I'll also send it out in my follow-up email with you. And it has quite an extensive list of common food and farming and agriculture hashtags. And there are done up by commodity specific options. But a hashtag is a word or a phrase that follows the pound symbol. So examples are hashtag Nova Scotia or hashtag farming.
Jeanette?
Yep.
You're on your notes version of the slides.
Am I?
Yep.
How do I get my regular version? Let's try this one. What does that one look like?
If you launch the slideshow, just a sec.
Don't know why I'm there. How's that?
Good to go.
Perfect. So a hashtag does not contain any spaces. So you can see in hashtag Nova Scotia, there's no space between the A and the S. If we put a space in between, it would just be hashtag Nova and the Scotia would be lost. So these are an indicator for users and for social platform algorithms that a piece of content relates to a specific topic or category. So hashtag farming, if you use that, your content should be about farming. And that's going to help users who are interested in farming find your content. And then it's also going to help the social platform algorithm know that you're talking about farming. So they can help make your content more discoverable in searches and reach more people. So if you're a hashtag user, you can follow hashtags. So if you're interested in farming, you can follow the hashtag farming. And when the public hashtag of hashtag farming is used, that content has a greater chance of reaching you. So benefits to hashtags are that they can increase engagement with your followers. It can help you build brand awareness if you're using your own branded hashtags. So an example of a branded hashtag would be hashtag meet your farmer or hashtag your farmers your NS, which are two hashtags that we use in a lot of our content for Meet Your Farmer. You can show support for causes and social issues. So if there's something that you're passionate about and you want to support, you can use the hashtags in your posts and reach the audience that's also interested in those causes and social issues. You can add context to a post. And this is really important with Twitter when you're limited on characters, that you can get to more of the point of your post using hashtags when you don't have a lot of space to be able to write content. It also helps your target audience find you. So people that are interested in hashtag farming have an easier time to find you if you're also using the hashtag farming. And you're also, if you're using paid partnerships, so if you're working with influencers or someone like that, you can disclose easily that it was a paid for partnership or an ad. You'll often see hashtag with like an ad reference in it if someone was paid to promote the product or the post. I don't know if you guys see it as much as I do, but sometimes, especially on Instagram, there can be like 40 hashtags included in a post. So there is kind of an optimal number of hashtags to use in platforms. Because the rule of hashtags is that more is not always better. So your hashtag needs to be relevant to the content in your post. And you need to try to kind of keep your hashtag numbers down. And so on Twitter, 1 to 2 hashtags is the optimal number. Facebook is the same at 1 to 2, as well as LinkedIn. YouTube is 2 to 3. Pinterest is 2 to 5, and Instagram comes in at 5 to 10. But all others should really be kept in under 5. So if you're like me and you're doing a lot of posting on Instagram and Facebook, I might use more hashtags on Instagram on the exact same post that I would share to Facebook, but just not include as many hashtags. And really the reason for that is it's probably not going to reach as many people anyway. Hashtags are really, I think, more popular on Instagram than Facebook. So social media users can follow or search hashtags. So when your public page or profile includes hashtags and they follow you, they have a better opportunity to reach your audience and build a new audience as well. So that's why it's important to use hashtags that are relevant to you and the content you're sharing, and not just using really popular hashtags. You may reach a lot of people, but they're not going to engage with your content. And you don't want them to kind of block or hide you for appearing in something that they don't want to see. So don't use hashtags just because they're popular. If they're not relevant to what you're sharing, you're better off not to use them. This is a short list of some hashtag examples. The resource that we've created has a lot more, but like hashtag meet your farmer, hashtag NS food, hashtag NS farm, hashtag farm life. We have hashtag open farm day and Atlantic open farm day, hashtag Canadian egg. There's lots of different options out there. You can really create anything into a hashtag. If you're having an event like Open Farm Day, you can turn it into a hashtag. You see it with weddings, you see it with lots of different things of people who want to be able to search the hashtag and then find the content that everyone is sharing. So if you're hosting an event on your farm or in your business, it's great to have a hashtag. Share that you want people to post on their own social media using that hashtag, and then you can find the content and share that and build your following that way. Keywords, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on, but keywords are the words and phrases that people are using to search for something. So incorporating keywords into your social content enhances visibility, allowing you to expand your reach and drive traffic to your social media. So think of social media as another search engine. People come into Facebook, and if they're looking for like a U-pick during U-pick season for strawberries, they might type in the search bar in Facebook, U-pick strawberries, Nova Scotia, or farm in Nova Scotia, or farm market, or something like that. So you want to make sure that you're setting up your social media pages so that people can find you when they're searching for something. So you want to find the right keywords for your accounts. So in your social media bio, which is for Twitter, your about description on Facebook, or in your headline on LinkedIn, you should be clearly communicating what it is that you do, or how you can help, or what you're interested in. I can show this on the Meet Your Farmer page if you like when I'm done going through it, just to kind of show you where the about section is and kind of what it should contain. So think like your audience. So if people are using social media a lot, they use them like search engines, and you can't remember the name of the farm market in Truro. So what would you search for on Facebook to find it? So ignore Google for a second. The person's not going to Google, they're going to Facebook. Maybe they think they saw a post or someone had shared something about a farm market in Truro that had a product that they wanted. So they're going to search farm market in Truro. You want to make sure that if you're a farm market in Truro, that you're one of the options that's coming up. Measuring success on this is a little different. It's hard to kind of measure how keywords are doing unless you're doing it in paid advertisements. But there are some insights and analytics that you can look into. But this is a platform by platform analysis. And again, I would recommend that you just spend some time in your platform and kind of just see what your insights and analytics look like in your business manager options. I'm just going to go through the Your Farmers, Your Nova Scotia campaign, and then we can take a look at anything afterwards if people want more information. So the Your Farmers, Your Nova Scotia campaign was launched by the Federation and Meet Your Farmer in mid-2020 as our first COVID lockdown was opening up. So while it emerged in COVID, it wasn't meant to be something that was only going to last during our pandemic times. The focus is on connecting Nova Scotians with farmers and food producers, and it's open to all farmers in Nova Scotia. You don't need to be a member of the Federation or be a registered farm in order to participate. This was something that was going to be available fully to all farmers in Nova Scotia. If you were growing or producing food and you wanted to share about it, we're happy to have you involved in the campaign. So we've created some assets around that. So we have logos, there's key messages, there's hashtags, we have some swag available, and a materials package, which is really kind of like an information letter and document to kind of share what's available and how to use the materials that are available. So this is an example of the logos and some of the graphics that were created. So this is the main logo, the We Grow Together, Your Farmers, Your Nova Scotia in the top left-hand corner. And then the two examples in the middle, you can see the badge of Farmers from Nova Scotia. This is a logo that we use on top of all of the images that we create to share the profiles that we're collecting on farms. So this was the Jennings farm in Masstown. They produce eggs on their farm. And then the bottom image here, the recipes from Nova Scotia farms. Again, we use that logo on top of all of our recipes that we share. This one is from Ashcroft Farm, and they also brought in some local products from farms in their community, Noydart cheese and Bramble Hill greens, and included it in their recipe and have all the products together. This is also from Ashcroft, the quotes from Nova Scotia Farms. So we created a social media post that has the quote, so you can see the text and then the logo over top. And so these three are something that always stay the same. The logo might change position back and forth, so we're not covering someone's face, but that's typically how they appear. And then we also had the meetyourfarmer.ca website created in the form of a graphic, so it can be overlaid on top of other images. And the hashtags, hashtag NS Farm Recipes and hashtag NS Farm Kids. The hashtag NS Farm Kids is one you may see right now. We're running a coloring contest and an art contest for youth for Canada's Agriculture Day. And we use this image on top of the advertising we do for the coloring contest. Participation, I think, is pretty easy. We have a profile form that's available. So you just need to fill out kind of the basic information of who you are, what you farm, a few interesting facts about your farm, or something that you want the public to know that may not be typical of every farm in Nova Scotia. We also share some of our profiles with Dalhousie Faculty of Agriculture. So if you're Dalhousie alumni, we'll share the profile and the images with them so they can do some cross-posting. And we also need you to send pictures and or videos. So if you have videos from the farm, we can take those. But pictures for sure. And I always encourage people to send me pictures with people in them. The pictures with people in them always do much better. And that's kind of an important point, is to remember to show yourself when you're telling your story. If we have pictures with people, the reach and the engagement always seems to be far greater. And then we need you to send a family recipe, something that you like to make for friends or your family. and then a picture of the dish if it's available. If you don't have one of the completed dish, we can use stock photos, but it's always our preference to have an original photo for that one. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Did anyone want me to go into Facebook to take a look at the About section and just kind of look at those keywords? Or I can pause for questions if anyone has any questions they want me to go over. You'd like me to take a look, Elaine, just to go in and sure, I'm happy to do that. All right, so I'm going to find my Facebook. All right, you should be able to see my Facebook page there. So this is the Meet Your Farmer Facebook page. I'm in the About section. So there's the Home tab, there's About, events, photos, and more. So in the About section, this is something that you really want to take the time to complete and complete well. Putting in your address shows your location on a map. So this is our office in East Mountain. But as we scroll down, like we have our website, our phone number, if you want to put your email in, these are all ways that people are going to be able to reach you and contact you. But in the About section, you're limited on characters. So you have to be really creative to write a succinct about you on, I think it's like 255 characters. So Meet Your Farmer is here to connect your farmers and connect you to farmers in the food system in Nova Scotia who proudly provide safe, high quality, fresh products, bringing you together through events, online learning opportunities, and more. So if someone was to search farmers in Nova Scotia, Meet Your Farmer should come up as one of their options. If you have additional information that you want to include, there is no limit on characters in the additional information, or if there is, it's really long. So if you have other information that you want to share, you can put it in here as well. I don't think it comes up in the search as well as the About section, but it really doesn't hurt to have as much information as you can in the additional information. So that's in the About section. I got into the business suite in the last webinar, so if there's anything that people were kind of confused about when I was talking about that, you can take a look or let me know right now, and I can go through it really quickly. Are there any questions from people? We have a few minutes left. Out of curiosity, what social platforms are people using right now? A lot of Instagram and Facebook, or are you on other things as well? Feel free to unmute if you prefer to share that way. Instagram and Facebook, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Looking into TikTok. Yeah, that's another another app that it's a lot of fun. I don't have TikTok for Meet Your Farmer. It's something that we've looked into. And you can actually see a lot of TikTok videos being cross-shared on Instagram. A lot of them are getting shared there too, but it's an app that's a lot of fun. And if you're looking for a younger audience, that's certainly where a lot of young users are, is on TikTok. I don't see a lot of farms in Nova Scotia using TikTok, so it would be great to see some more. Another Facebook and Instagram, those are really the most popular. All right, I'm just going to go through kind of the end on what we have left. Just to give you contact information. If you're interested in the last session, our next session is going to be on Monday, March 14th, same time, 12 o'clock. And we're going to get into metrics and engagement, paid advertising, and using an influencer. That's something that you see a lot more, especially on Instagram, are influencers that are being paid to promote products or share stories from people. So we're going to get into that on the session on the 14th. And my contact information is here, my phone number and email, and Catherine as well. If at any time you're looking for support, we're here to help you. And if there's any type of resource that you don't have that you think would be useful, let us know and we can help create something and then have it available for other people to use as well. So I think we're going to wrap up a few minutes early unless there's anything that people want to chat about or have questions about. I hope that this was useful for folks, and I encourage you all to kind of just take a look at Canva. If you haven't used it before, you can sign up for the free version. Don't jump in and pay for a version right away. Go in and use it a little bit. If you really like it and you think that there's other options that you would find beneficial, then take a look at doing a paid version. But yeah. And if you're interested in participating in the Your Farmers, Your Nova Scotia campaign, then just send me an email or Catherine an email and we can get you that profile form and start collecting some information. We like to try to share at least 1 or 2 farms a month. We've got quite a collection on our website now, and we're only looking to add to it. So I really encourage you to take a look at that. Your participation can just be the profile, and we can do all the work in getting that together. But if you're interested in any of the swag, I've got stickers and things like that that you want sent out to you as well. We can do that and get you a package together and send it out for you to use. So just give us a second if there's anything else. Thank you so much for joining, everyone, and I hope that you have a few bits of information that you can use.